So when I was sold this earlier on, they told me that there was 6,500 watts in this generator. That was the power within this. Were they telling me the truth?
Non, c'est complètement faux. Sa puissance maximum, ce sera de 2500.
I was also told that there is a Honda engine in this, that it's powered by a Honda engine. Again, were they telling me the truth or lying?
C'est pas un moteur Honda, c'est un moteur d'une marque japonaise qui a même pas de marque.
I bought this in the condition as well. There was power enough in it to keep a caravan or a mobile home going. Can this do that?
Non, pour une maison mobile, bon, tout dépend de ce qu'on branche dessus, mais normalement c'est fait pour alimenter donc un réfrigérateur, une télévision, un micro-ondes.
So in your opinion then, would you say that I've been ripped off, I've been conned?
Oui.
My investigation into Rathkeale, the town that Travellers took over, had unexpectedly led me to Paris in France, where I tracked down and came face to face with a crew of Traveller con men, all of whom are residents in or have strong links to the Limerick town. Posing as a customer, I went undercover to buy one of several hundred faulty generators they were hawking on the streets of the French capital for what sources claimed was up to 10 times the market value. I then paid a visit to an independent expert, an electrical engineer, who proved beyond a doubt that I'd been conned.
T'es arnaqué puisque ça ne correspond pas du tout à la puissance qui est marquée sur le carton et vu les écritures qui sont dessus.
Scams like the one I exposed reportedly are in Rathkeale's criminal element, millions upon millions each year on the black market, and how that cash makes its way back to Ireland, how it's trafficked undetected across continents, then quickly and very cleverly laundered, is yet another of this town's very closely guarded secrets. It's believed that the money earned abroad is laundered in either cars, lorries, or they come back to Rathkeale to wash that money, so to speak. Is that generally how that money is spent?
Yeah. That's how it's spent.
I know of one group of individuals who they had a contact in the south of France who was able to set up official companies, and through that then they were able to set up bank accounts that made it look like they were buying goods from suppliers in Ireland, and by that means they were able to send money back.
To those with inside knowledge, Rathkeale is referred to as the money laundering capital of Ireland, and has, I learned, been the focus of countless investigations by the Criminal Assets Bureau.
The Criminal Assets Bureau have looked at a couple of individuals over the years, and some of them have been, caught for tax demands in excess of 500,000 and 250,000.
I do believe there are millions of unpaid revenue as a result of the deals that have been taking place in this town over the last 20-30 years.
Vast sums of money are, say insiders, smuggled across Europe and back to Rathkeale using the simplest and least scientific of means. How are they getting that kind of money back here to Ireland?
It all depends. Sometimes they just wait till they've 5 or 6 of them, or maybe 3 or 4 of them have a big amount of cash, and then they get someone to bring it back for them. It could be laundered through cars, or it could be laundered through antiques, or then again it could be just put in a car and taken back to England.
What other kinds of work have you done for them?
I've done a bit of courier work, yeah.
And what did that entail?
475 grand was put in the roof of a car. Car was taken from Bremen in Germany. I drove it down through France and got on the boat in Calais and got off at Dover. I met a guy and I gave him what he had to get.
So almost €500,000?
Yeah.
And what was your take from that?
10 grand.
For the most part, funds trafficked into Rathkeale by its criminal fraternity are thought to be pumped into and laundered through property in the town. The deals are said to be done in cash so as to limit the paper trail, and according to my sources, a third party is sometimes bribed to throw the authorities off the scent. You were hired to do some business with Travellers here in Rathkeale. What kind of business was that?
Buying a house. They approached me one time through another individual.
So they asked you to buy them a house?
They asked me to buy them a house in Rathkeale, yeah.
And why did they ask you to buy the house for them?
To avoid taxman and cab and everything else, I suppose.
Criminal Assets Bureau?
Apparently so, yes. The deal was that if I got all the forms signed and everything, I'd get X amount of money.
And how much money was that?
5,000. I got the house, had it in my name for X amount of time, and then I sent it back on over to him.
And how long did you have the house in your name for?
About 3 weeks, a month.
But the minute I said I got the house, I got the money.
And how much did the house cost?
250,000. The owner of the house got 100,000.
So that 100,000 went under the table then?
Under the table, yeah. That's the way they operate.
The ties between Rathkeale and criminality are, though, in stark contrast to day-to-day life in the town. A mutual tolerance, even respect, exists between members of the two communities that turn their back on crime and who call Rathkeale home for 12 months of every year. Is it difficult to live side by side like that?
No. A lot of my friends are from the settled community.
It's still a great community. The only time that there's any real tension there is when there's that huge influx. You know, we're 1,500 people or whatever, but at Christmas time that can, you know, turn to 3,500, 4,000.
What crime exists in the town does so in the lawless shadows, behind closed doors. And whilst they share a cloud of suspicion with local criminals, the vast majority of the community, both settled and traveller, have no hand in scams, corruption or otherwise, nor are they millionaires. Is it the case that all travellers in Rathkeale have a certain degree of wealth?
Some are plainly poor. It's like any part of Ireland. They're not all wealthy just because they're from Rathkeale, like.
Indeed, some of Rathkeale's poorer travellers claim to be victims of their own rumoured success.
The allowance is gone because the newspaper's saying that we have millions.
Yeah.
I'm barely surviving. I was a millionaire, I wouldn't be in a car and I have a house.
So have they cut your welfare off completely?
Completely.
Because they believe...
I to believe that see the newspaper's saying in the news, buying the hands and people as millionaires. It's lies. It's all lies.
As a traveller man, I think sometimes we're caught in a very invidious position between two extreme stereotypes. You know, if travellers are wealthy, well then the insinuation is that we're fraudsters and we're con artists. If we're extremely poor, then we're too lazy to work. There are some travellers who have gained their wealth unlawfully. There is no doubt about that. I think one has to be mature enough and confident enough to say that is true. But I think it's important we don't stereotype the whole community as being one or the other. There's huge diversity within the community, and one of them is actually, you know, those who are quite wealthy. But there's also many travellers who are living in pure destitution, who are impoverished.
There are occasions when all differences, cultural and otherwise, are set aside. Are there examples of times during the year maybe when the two communities come together?
Yeah. St. Patrick's Day. It's like what happens all over Ireland. It's a happy day and everyone goes to the pub, gets drunk, enjoys themselves. And once you're Irish, that's all that matters.
The traveller and settled people in Rathkeale come together and they just gel. We embrace that and we would always encourage traveller participation. And St. Patrick's Day, and you've seen yourself.
It's quite a show that day, isn't it?
What a great show. A splendour of colour. Brazil comes to Rathkeale. Everybody was socialised together. The parade, which was a spectacle, which was fantastic, and not a bother. And it just goes to show you that the two communities here in Rathkeale can get on together. You know, to a certain extent, we really do.
Rathkeale's social and cultural divide dissolves too when, ironically, the two communities trade blows in the ring. The town's boxing club has produced dozens of national and international champions over the years and is run by local volunteers. Great setup you have here. Is this one of the few examples, though, would you say, of the settled and the traveller community working together on something?
Yeah, absolutely. We've about 70% travellers here, and then everyone mixed in with the settled lads, you know. Because like at the end of the day, no matter what breed, race, colour, they're all the same in the ring. So everybody wants to fight for their country, fight for their town, fight for their area. And they all, like, everyone of them, like, they just go hell for leather in the ring. And then outside, they're all the best of friends. Because like, they travel together every weekend. They're something happening. There's some lads boxing all the time, do you know what I mean?
So any prejudice there might be in the town between the two communities, it's left outside the
absolutely, yeah. Once they go up them stairs, that's it, it's over, do you know what I mean?
What do you say, Gavin, then to people who say that you are just training travellers for bare knuckle boxing, that they're going to use the skills in those fights? What do you say to those people?
It's absolute rubbish. None of these lads here do that. No, I can't vouch for other clubs, do you know what I mean? But I guarantee it's rubbish.
There is, however, no escaping the fact that the settled community are steadily vanishing from Rathkeale, as they're perfectly entitled to do. Rathkeale's travellers continue to buy up what land and property they can, and having come full circle with this investigation, one question still remains. In the near future, will Rathkeale become Ireland's first traveller-only town?
If the rate at which properties are being purchased by members of the travelling community, I think if that sustains, well, I think in a very short period of time, you could have it exclusively owned by the travelling community, yes.
The settled people that are remaining here that refuse, and I know people that have been approached to, you know, sell up and move on. They don't want to go anywhere because Rathkeale is still a great community. It's still a great town.
Do you think it could be the case that at one stage travellers will have bought up all the properties, both residential and commercial, in Rathkeale?
Eventually, yeah. It's looking like it, like, you know.
So then Rathkeale will just be a traveller town?
Yeah.
And we're back in Rathkeale next Monday at 9. Later this week, Extraordinary People meets Nick, a grown man who weighs just under 2 stones. He's had a tough life and has another big op on the way. 21 and 3 feet tall is new Thursday at 10. Next tonight on Channel 5, catch up with the latest from the Big Brother house in just a tick.